And tomorrow, I'm the biggest bear out there. So be it.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Live to trade another day, live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Is it the bottom yet? I'm trying to buy up everything. Not gonna get upset. Just pull the trigger, let it bang. When I see a trade, I'm hopping in like a Uber to secure my future. Up early just like a rooster. Eyes glued to the computer, looking for a bag or two. Market cipher on the screen, compliments of trading view. Now I know what I'ma do. Buy low and sell high. Even if you try and fail, at least you didn't fail to try. I don't wanna be the type of guy that let fear win. I'm the one that dive in head first and bust my chin. I know FOMO is a no-no, but I still get it in. Now I can't predict the future, but I know I'm bound to win. Later or sooner, I'll be the big kahuna. Cause I got big kahunas. I was not scared to get money, I took me some chances and now I'm the big kahuna. And if you scared, might as well get neuter. I'ma keep chasing my dreams. Wake up and mansion so big, I need a segue to get from wing to wing. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money. Scared money don't make no money.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So guys, just a few days ago, we had one of the biggest liquidation events and Black Swan events, actually, that happened the quickest and the fastest than any other crashes we've ever had in crypto history. And I think it's almost just like how the mainstream media is hiding the fact that the economy and the jobs and our government and the Federal Reserve and the feds, anything that's pulling up numbers about jobs, it's worse than anything we could actually probably imagine. And I think it's being hidden in the fact that the market, in terms of Binance and whoever was involved with liquidating the entire market and stealing people's crypto, that was one of the craziest liquidation events we've ever had. And I think it was probably a lot worse than what it's been led on to look like. And so that's what's happened recently. So people are just coming back to the timeline. Some people came back a little bit quicker. Some people didn't get shaken out at all, but there were some people who basically got completely destroyed because of a lot of different factors that we've discussed over the past couple of days. And we've covered a lot of it. We tried our best to give you guys a good scope of what's happened, why it happened, and what you should do to move forward in the next couple of months, next couple years, because this is going to be very important for you guys to not miss the mark here. You know, a lot of people are going to be calling for the cycle to be over. You know, we got the biggest accounts coming on here, and, you know, clickbait or not, this is irresponsible. This is the end of the crypto bull market. You know, this is the end. It's always with this stuff. It's the end. It's over. It's over. Pack it up, guys. This can make people just sell out of all their crypto and then try and time the market instead of just buying and holding, knowing that there is a secret war happening in the background. So yes, the lessons are that if you play with leverage, you need to know that there are a lot of different forces that are against your little trade that you have. So if you even get any money out of leverage trading, you better grab it and run fast, because the moment that you think you're smarter than the Chinese sandworm, which is Binance, and all the other algorithmic tradings and bots that are set up with the APIs that are way smarter than you, they're faster than you, they know what you're thinking. So if you can even make $1 out of doing these trades, just don't look at it too long. That's all I got to say. So I'm not saying don't leverage trade, because you can do whatever you'd like. It is a free market for you to be able to do what you want. It's DeFi. It's up to you. So, but I think if you want to survive longer and have a little bit more longevity, we're going to go into what's happening in the background and why you should be even more bullish with something that what happened the few days ago. Instead of getting really bearish on what happened a few days ago, we got even more bullish. I don't know. Maybe we're crazy. Maybe we have a mental illness. But if anything, that event made me even more bullish to continue to hold, continue to not get tricked by all this market manipulation, to not kiss the ring of CZ and BNB in the Binance chain, and continue on. And so this is what we're going to talk about, because there is a secret war happening in the background. And if you're paying attention, it has nothing to do with boots on the ground. It has nothing to do with nukes, has nothing to do with land and control and stuff like that. It has a lot to do with blockchain and AI. The real World War III has already started, and it's being fought on the blockchain and with AI. So the silent war has already begun. Everyone's looking for signs of World War III with the tanks and the missiles, alliances, all this stuff. But the real war, it's not on the battlefield. And we've kind of talked about this. It's being fought with data centers, GPU farms, NVIDIA, you know, the bubble, this bubble that's powered by NVIDIA, with all the companies interlinked with each other, which kind of seems like there's this level of competition, but they're all relying on each other. So it's not like they can kill, like, you know, so it's really interesting. So how NVIDIA is powering even the AMD deal with OpenAI. So behind the scenes, nations, corporations, autonomous networks, all are locked in a race to dominate the most valuable resource, which is the energy that powers AI and the blockchains that are going to verify it. Because at the end of the day, what is AI and AI agents and that whole ecosystem, what is it going to use to move liquidity and move frictionless stuff and ZK proof through zero knowledge proof stuff through the blockchain, and also stuff that can be verified and actually on chain and be able to see this is it's going to be powered by blockchain. All this stuff is going to be powered by on the back end through these blockchains. And so our job is to find all this, find what companies are invested in what section, and see where that money is flowing heavily, because they will continue to grow this bubble, and the AI bubble will just get bigger. And I think that the speculations of the growth, some will be failures, but some, I think, will continue to grow. And we're going to get into this. And we hope you guys are following me here, and it's going to get you bullish just to start to continue to accumulate, continue to think about privacy in that particular narrative. Think about what's going to be the unicorn in-game rotation ecosystems that are at their bottoms right now, who have good marketing. We're going to get into that with Richard Hart. Richard Hart's been on a post frenzy because his ecosystem is currently at the absolute bottom for people to come in and buy at prices that are not inflated, like other chains have been sold out on exchanges, have been manipulated and got all the first runner advantage, but now they're getting dumped on. And you see now why Richard Hart probably has this master plan of getting people to buy Pulse Chain at the absolute bottom instead of, but the Pulsicans had to sacrifice themselves and hold through the pain. But I feel like if Richard Hart's ethos of how you have to hold through the pain, and he's seen multiple crashes and held through all of it, and look at what it's done to him, where he's actually been able to hold and didn't have paper hands, he's been able to basically become one of the richest men in the world. So there's a lot that we could go into today, and we could go down the damn rabbit hole and get on an ADHD soapbox freaking super show, but we will keep it on track here. All right. So here is some of the bookmarks that we wanted to focus on today. Look, here's why we think AI is going to be a bubble that continues to grow, and it could extend over the next 5 to 10 years. We'll see certain things die off, but there will be one thing that will ultimately power and inflate the whole thing. Then also, for it to not go down, it has to be propped up. And so that is with chipsets, GPUs, data farming, AI stuff that happens in the United States that we are going to, hopefully we're already heavily invested in. So Fink says AI, not a bubble, but there will be failures. Think on AI. This is capital that is mostly well spent. So it's like, because if they were to waste capital, they would be behind massively by just a few days, because how fast China moves with setting up data centers, setting up farms, setting up China's willing at the sacrifice of the planet and their people to completely annihilate areas of their land to set up these farms. They don't give a shit. So they'll outpace us and sacrifice and do it a lot quicker. We've already seen this. This is how China works. So we have more regulation and more legislative stuff and things that we have to go through in America before we can, we still do it, but we have to go through a lot more things to be able to get on board. Like, for instance, like our nuclear power plants, look at how many times we had to break and destroy a nuclear power plant because it didn't pass certain little inspection thing. And so you see the difference. So the capital, they have to spend the capital on the right things, because if they don't, they will get destroyed and they will be outpaced, and the competition is brutal. And so this is what's happening right now. And so speaking of competition, this is what the competition is willing to do to get ahead. So Binance halted trading, by the way. They halted trading. They had faulty oracles mispricing USDE, which they had heavily manipulated as collateralized loans. Binance had made a big deal with USDE and Athena to be able to let you use USDE as collateral for loans, to be able to then use that to then trade and whatever you want to do with it. But guess what? USDE depegged to freaking 50 cents, and it wiped out everyone who was using USDE thinking it was going to be stable. Scam! BN Sol, Wrapped Beat, they all got mispriced, so it forced liquidations on an estimated 400 billion and probably more. They only reported 100 or 20 billion. It was actually 400 billion. So they lied also about how much was actually liquidated, because that was the money they stole. Knew they effed up and offered 250 million in rebates. So they stole $400 billion and only gave 250 million of it back. Where's the other money, Binance and CZ, you damn scammers? So now Binance Wallet is zeroing out many users' wallets due to network congestion. That is absolute devil, black magic, just the worst ever. I am just, you should be ashamed. Should be ashamed. And And then we got this kind of stuff, and then even Paul Barron had to put the clown emoji on this, because I was like, what is Charles even talking about? Like, everything you just said just goes against everything about crypto, and talking about freezing and all this stuff, and DJED, and like, no one even knows what the hell DJED is, because there's been no promoting or campaigning to even get liquidity to go into it, and people don't even use Cardano as a stablecoin rail ever. Never. No one's when has anyone ever used DJED? You've used USDC, USDT, and you've maybe used DAI, but that's like old school. You know, people from the 2016-17 era, you know, probably know about DAI, but everyone right now uses USDC and USDT, and now they're even using USD1. So no one knows what the hell DJED is. But this is what Cardano has to say. Even though their stablecoin depeg, they're like, oh, that was what was supposed to happen. Yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
You'll never get 100% stability. JED fell to 55 cents, but JED completely recovered to its peg within 5 hours. And it's really extraordinary from that viewpoint. You have to build your DeFi around the fact that it is a peg that has eventual consistency, not day-to-day, minute-to-minute, second-to-second stability. And there's been a lot of lessons learned. So you have to do some slightly different things. When there's high volatility, you freeze the JED deposit for a period of time. But net, I'm really proud.
Really?
And it's really
so when there's volatility, you get to decide to freeze the stablecoin. Yeah, that's true DeFi and decentralization. What the hell, Charles? That's why I was like, yeah, that does deserve a clown emoji. Yeah, that's real magical, Charles. Freak everyone out. Oh, let's freeze it because it's volatile and it depegged, and half of my value in my stablecoin just went down 50% for 5 hours. But that's okay. That is just wow. It's big cope right there. Big cope. But what's going on, everyone? Welcome. I think YouTube is doing it again, where they're trying to shadow ban me. I don't know why. Maybe they like Binance too. Gosh. All right, so check it out. You guys got to hit that like button. You already did. There's 5 people in there. There's 4 likes. So at least the people that came in and YouTube actually showed you guys that I went live. You are fantastic. You guys are legends. I really do appreciate it. And shout out to Laser, shout out to Dre, shout out to Headband. Shout out to everyone who's here. I really appreciate it. It really helps you guys share in this live stream. YouTube legitimately is shadow banning me 100%. I don't suck. My live stream's good. I'm not going to let anyone convince me that I need to do something different. I'm doing a good job, and I can say that, and I'm getting better, and I know I am. I'm covering stuff that most people aren't even covering. I've covered everything like a freaking crazy ADHD freaking crazy person, and a lot more entertaining than most of these snooze fest live streamers out here. And YouTube is shadow banning me. I know they are. So you have to fight the good fight with me and make sure that I can get in the algorithm. So you guys are part of the dojo crew. You're in here training with me. We have told you when we've been down. We've told you when we've been up. And I want to hear from you. And this is why we're here. So let's continue this. We're bringing you the juiciest news. As Ivan would say, the meat and potatoes. So now let's continue down this little rabbit hole of why the market crashed as well, because Zero Hedge had a good point, but they wanted to point out that it's not the beginning of the end. So this wasn't a crash, but a market crack that happens when everyone is on the same side of the boat. So it's kind of like a good analogy. On Friday, the same crowd that had been relentlessly pushing prices higher moved it in the other direction. The reason the market crack was so severe reflects our previous comments that sellers live higher, buyers live lower. The stock market is always a function of buyers and sellers, each negotiating to make a transaction. While there is a buyer for every seller, the question is always at what price. But it begs the question, the liquidity, there were no sells on these altcoins that were in Binance, okay? There were no sells. No one just decided to nuke their own portfolio 90% on their altcoins in Binance or whatever it was, all those altcoins, any of the altcoins that were manipulated and dumped by Binance and didn't have and had that massive arbitrage spread between the exchanges, they took your crypto. They stole your crypto. Binance stole your freaking crypto. And we got Jake Gagan and Pop and Thread Guy going to CZ and Binance and BNB and saying, keep building, while they stole your freaking crypto. What the hell? That pisses me off. They stole your freaking crypto and you're still on the timeline promoting this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself. They took people's crypto and people literally ended it. And you're saying keep building. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. No one decided to sell their crypto to dump the charts like that down 90%. So there was no sell, so why did it dump like that? Means that what Binance is doing is so atrocious and they should be taken down. And I want it taken down. I don't give a freaking rip. They should be taken down. They stole people's crypto and said, you know. That whole Trump thing with China, that was nothing. That was a distraction. That is not what caused the markets to do what that did. I'm sorry, but that is not what caused the markets to do that. And if you believe that, you need to do your research. The only thing about the Whale Insider that knew about it, they just knew what Binance and what Trump was doing. That's how they knew. That's not what caused the crash, the big short or the big whatever. No, they knew what was about to happen and then they did it, which means it's someone who knows about both sides. And then Music Miracle said the fact that CoinGlass got hacked, DDoS attacked, and broken, and they weren't able to report all of the liquidity, which means they freaking stole all your crypto. They stole your crypto. So if I see, I get it. So here's the thing. I saw Justin Sun and I saw CZ in the same building in Abu Dhabi. And damn it, if I would have been there this time now, I would have said, CZ, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed. I was like wanted to meet CZ. Now I don't give a shit. I would like, if I see you, I'd be like, you should be ashamed of yourself, CZ. Repent for your sins. You've done nothing but hurt the industry, and people are just kissing your damn ring, thinking that just because you built BNB, that means you should be you're this goat of crypto. What, you copy and pasted Ethereum? Cool, you copy and pasted Ethereum. Great, good job. Good job, CZ. Freaking ridiculous. So was this the beginning of the end? Was Friday's market crash the beginning of the end of a melt up phase? The answer is probably no. Every bubble has a story at its core. And so the market crash has likely not broken the critical tailwind of the bull market as liquidity remains abundant. Fiscal deficits are large, the Fed remains dovish, and global central banks are cutting rates. All of these support continued price appreciation, but the same ingredients that drive the melt up create instability. That instability was made evident in the market crack on Friday. So what this could be is a shakeout. The stock market had its own tailwind with the China tariff scare, but then the crypto markets had its own separate thing that was going on that was used in tandem to distract from the fact that this was going to happen, and they were going to completely mass extract people on this side, and then everyone was focusing on China and the tariffs. Perfect play to be able to literally scam the crap out of the entire space. And it makes sense why BNB had been taking so much market share, pushing and quote, promoting and advertising to get people to get bridged onto BNB while it's breaking all-time highs to then literally nuke the damn market. I hope you guys understand this and you're not falling for it. Because all it's going to make you do is think that, the bear market's over. But no, I think what it is Marty Party made a good point. He's like, these exchanges are desperate. They can't do this for much longer. And more of the altcoins that they've tried to destroy, Ethereum and Solana, are getting ETFs and being regulated by our CME and our futures exchange and the CFTC and the SEC. So at a point where if they keep wash trading Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin in competition with the ETFs that are being serviced in America, guess what? That's the war that's happening. So if you want to fight the war on blockchain, you boycott Binance and you tell them to kick rocks. Because if we want our freaking coins to pump, we need Binance out of the freaking way. So the war that's happening right now is not boots on the ground and nukes and missiles and all that shit to make you think that that's what's happening. The war is happening in your digital wallet. And how do you fight? By what you hold. I didn't know I was going to get this intense and start going off, but man, it makes me so mad because everyone's just chirping. Everyone's just like a damn sheep over here following all this stuff, and they don't do the research and they don't have any integrity. All they care about is making money. If that's what all I cared about, man. So there is something happening right now, very much so. And if you don't, and if you gotta recognize it. Smash up that like button if you feel what I'm feeling, and if you don't, and you're leaving right now, then you still have a lot to learn, or you've already made the money. What's the contract? I'll tell you what the damn contract is. It's Pulse Chain ecosystem. It's ticker Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin. BTC, Ethereum, Solana. Everything but BNB. How about that? What's the contract? Everything but BNB. You telling me, come on, give me a freaking break. Hyperliquid would have already been at $100. Solana would have already been at 1,000. Ethereum would have already broken into the 1618. But instead, we got scammers like Binance and BNB pumping up their chain so then they can continue to mass extract. And then we got people on the timeline favoring them and basically saying that they want the crime to continue. Like, if you are going to be a person that is going to be a BNB maxi and start saying build and CZ, blah, blah, this, I'm going to unfollow you. I will unfollow you and I will block you because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. This is when I'm like, I will make a stand and I will not do it. This is why I love that. And what's so funny is that, I like ticker Bitcoin. That's my meme. That's the thing that I like the most. And it actually, if you know the lore of Ticker Bitcoin, it started on Binance Smart Chain. And I'm very glad that it didn't stay and it went on Ethereum, because honestly, truly, I think Ethereum is the best place to have a meme coin to grow. And we've seen this before in previous cycles where the memes that had true, like actually like legit, like rallying behind it, they were on Ethereum. So if you know your history and you know real lore, it's very good that Ticker Bitcoin never stayed on Binance Smart Chain. You can see it makes me upset. It makes me upset because I just think that at a point where you're like, oh yeah, free market, it's DeFi, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then there's just this blatant attack on us. We show up every single day to this space and we don't deserve this. Like, we show up to this space every day. We get made fun of. We're like the, you know, the pariah of an investing ecosystems. And we continue to come here and we believe in this. We believe enough to come here and have a live stream and talk about it. And then we got people like this basically extracting from the people that they tell us to come and build and promote their products. Like, we come here trying to make a living for ourselves and also to try and help people and educate people. And then they are on the back end wrecking you. That should piss you off. It's just like our government, where you're paying tax dollars and then you find out that like almost all of it is going to places that you don't agree with. And so you should be upset and you should try to do something about it. Don't be an idle standbyer when it comes to things that are affecting your well-being, you know, that, because this is what it is, you know. So we have to navigate this, and we got to know and weed out the people that are truly don't give a rip about the crypto community. And this is where I'm going to segue to someone who I really do, the person who's gotten attacked the most to prove my point. The person that got attacked the most through this entire cycle had been Richard Hart. He's been called the scammer the most out of everyone. I'm not like a Richard Hart maxi. He's not my savior. No one's going to save me but Jesus Christ. So before you start talking all the crap, because anytime I talk about Richard Hart, they go, oh, are you Richard Hart maxi? I'm like, no, I can just agree to some of the ethos of how he's representing himself. So before you start to get all like crazy. So Richard Hart, I really do believe has tried to help us. People have villainized this dude the entire time, but all the while we got the XRPs, the freaking OM. I mean, we've had all of these. We've had extraction after extraction. We've had all of the Solana grifting coins, all Libra. Gosh, I mean, Trump and Melania, like rug pull after rug pull. We've had just every single type of thing of these people coming to the timeline and scamming us. And now we have this whole thing with Binance and BNB and just the obvious manipulation that's happening with the competition and the war that's happening between even in their own ecosystem in China and people that worked with each other and all this stuff, and then also against the United States. But no, Richard Hart was the biggest scammer. This is why dude, Hyro, I bet, man, I'm so sorry. Hyro, dude, I'm so sorry. If you got liquidated and you got like rocked, I'm sorry. Because I know you had some trades that were cross-margined. Because I think you did have, were you cross-margined? Were you cross-margined? Oh, no. No. Ah. Dang, dude. This is we talked about this. We talked about the dangers of cross margin, man. Okay. This is what's so important, my friends. While while a bunch of, YouTubers will show you their trades, they will show you their trading groups and blah blah blah. I bet not one time they'll teach you the difference between isolated and cross margin, because like I bet about 80% of the market that got liquidated was because they were cross margined. And when some people are putting in trades, they don't even realize that the platform that they're using is auto cross margined just for that fact. And so you have to make sure that if you are trading, you're using isolated. And I learned this early on, because I was like, what is the difference? And I used it with small money. I remember I had cross open, and then I saw it working. I saw it activate when the prices started to fluctuate, and it took margin out of my account, and it took it from another trade. And I said, nope, I'm like, I already knew even early in the newbie days, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably not very safe. I was like, the safest way to put in a trade and protect it is to do isolated contract. It's just that contract, so it's only based on that. And it is going to give you your fees and calculate it all based on just one contract. And so what that means is that it's not going to take from margin from another trade. It's not going to auto rebalance it. You have to balance it yourself. So you have the ability to add margin, decrease margin. And when you decrease or margin, your liquidation price goes up. And when you add margin, your liquidation price goes down. So when you see, for instance, like when James Wynn was everyone was watching his trades on Hyperliquid, he kept adding in margin and adding in more money the closer it was getting to his liquidation, because it would drop it. And so, but what you also need to have is, if you're going to be aggressive, you'll have isolated and you'll have all that stuff protected, but then you'll have a stop loss set. So, like if you feel like, okay, look, this thing could go against me and I'm willing to lose 10% of the trade, 20% of the trade, whatever you're going to set your stop loss at. You can be super aggressive and set it at like 5% to where you're like, look, if this thing I get stopped out, that's it, and then another tip is, when you are in profit, I don't even care if it's 10% in profit. The moment you get in profit, you move your stop loss to break even. And then as it's going up, you're trailing your stop loss up as well. And so that actually can work very well. It's called a trailing stop loss strategy. And you can very much maximize small gains over time. You can do this with a big amount, but you just need to know that the higher the margin, the higher the leverage, the faster the moves, the quicker the moves. So you need to be more aggressive. If you have a little less leverage with more margin, you can still activate hundreds of dollars in minutes. But you have to be aggressive. You have to know where your targets are. Set your take profits, set your stop losses. Moment you're in profit, trail it up, boom. And if you're robotic about this, and you don't get greedy, because the moment that you get crypto face greedy, when you got $150,000 sitting right in front of you, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep it running, guys. I'm gonna keep it running. No, you take the damn money and you move your freaking stop loss up. You don't let your stop loss be at break even, crypto face. You're getting people wrecked, all right? So that's why your trading group, they all left. So talking to you, crypto face, I'll clip this and I'll send it to you. So we got to start teaching people out here, my friend. And that's like, that's the thing, that's at least I've taught people, even if I don't have big accounts myself, and I've been, I've gotten rocked a couple times, but damn it, I think I have good education. And at least I'm getting people, showing them the reality of what is going to happen and how you can protect yourself, because I've done it. So you don't need a bunch of freaking fancy indicators. You don't need a bunch of nonsense. You just need support, resistance. Is there volume? There you go. And that's about all the data you need. and make sure Trump isn't about to send a damn tweet. Have Truth Social up immediately, notifications on, and there you go. That's all you need to know for the next couple of years for your trades. Support resistance. Truth Social. That's it. But yeah. But I hope you appreciate what I'm spitting here on the timeline. Because while you're going to have a bunch of people saying the market's over, blah, 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 and they're also going to be promoting CZ like crazy. And look, I follow you, Jake. I follow you. But you're too like, look, BNB has been taken over, has been taking over the crypto space. It's been pretty amazing. Look, it's been pretty amazing to watch, Jake. It's been pretty amazing to watch CZ scam everyone. Give me a break. Look, pump or forebeam, you can only choose one. Look, see? Look, BNB chain 4, bullish news for BNB, meme coins. Look, BNB, look how much BNB, look how Aster, look how much BNB shilling is happening on this account that has 417,000 followers. All the while, they just wrecked and scammed out thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Let me go to another account that has over 400,000 followers. Or no, this one's close. What's the best BNB meme coin to buy right now? That's below 100 million market cap. BNB is about to make new all-time highs. BNB is stronger than ever. Welcome to the Binance super cycle. Bridge to BNB and prepare for greatness. Look at this. BNB, 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 BNB. It's simply because BNB is forever. Could it be because the naysayer kept on saying why BNB didn't drop that much, then more people moved into BNB? CZ. You're not bullish enough on BNB. BNB is forever. Repeat after me. BNB strong. Look at this crap. I can't take it. Can't take it anymore. I can't take the sheer, blatant disregard of what just happened. Blatant disregard. That's why none of these people will come on my channel. This is why none of these people will come on my channel. Thread Guy won't come on my channel. None of these people will come on my channel because I'll call them out for their bullshit. I will call them out for their bullshit. Do I have any trades open? No, absolutely not. No, I don't have any trades open. I tried to trade the recovery a little bit. I made like $300, $350, and then I gave it right back to the market. I traded a little bit. I was just like, I'm just gonna use like $30 just to kind of see if I could do something. And then I turned it into 250, and then the markets was just so. And what I should have done is just taken the profits out immediately and just DCA'd, just as all right, there you go. But I kept trying to see if it was going to be a full V-shaped recovery, but then of course they scammed us again and we got rocked. So I think no, Headband. No, I'm not going to make BNB great again. No, they're scammers. I'm sorry, but they're scammers. But come on, my expose that I just gave you here should lead to the fact that we know it is obvious that there is a narrative that is put in front of you. Crypto Twitter is just like mainstream media. It literally operates just like mainstream media. You got paid shills, you got things that the market wants you to see, and then there's things that are gatekept that you should be paying attention to. But then they say that they'll know that's the thing. So it's like massive gaslighting happening all over the place. And you know it. You know it. You know it to be true. I'd wager to bet that whenever OM crashed, that probably Binance had a little bit to do with that too. I'm about to just say Binance is responsible for everything. And you guys are gonna be like, calm down, jeez, like, what do you think? I'm like, well, hey, you know, we know there's a massive cabal operation that's happening in crypto. There's a few of them. We have the Trump cabal, we have the Chinese cabal, we have the Solana soy boy cabal, and then there's like the, you know, dystopian AI controlled communism, freaking, you know, mark of the beast, you know, Illuminati coins, that kind of cabal. There's all this stuff probably happening all in the underbelly of crypto, and we need to figure out and sift through which one is going to reveal us to the light, the way, the truth, the light. Because there are ethical, I think if you know, I might be naive to think it, but while there are all of these extractions and scams out there, I think there might be people out there that are trying to do the right thing. I know it's hard to believe sometimes because when it's peak crime season right now, you might think all hope is lost and everyone's a scammer. So at this point, we have to find the true projects, the true communities, and we need to stick with them, and we need to rally behind them, and we need to say, you can kick rocks, Binance, and if I see CZ, I'll say, repent. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say, oh, it's great to meet you, CZ. I'm just gonna say, repent. Repent. Consider not being an atheist if you don't believe in God, CZ. I suggest you start doing so because your soul is gone. Start going to church, my friend. You know, and you guys think I'm just I'm just talking. This is exactly how I feel. I wouldn't be literally saying it in front of who could be watching thousands of people, but it's just two knuckleheads like Scuba Gerbil and Hyro, and I'm just kidding. It's just you guys. But no, I really believe it. I think it's atrocious. This freaking crap. This is like. And look, this is and so here, Morad, what should you learn from the Friday's massive explosion? Don't use leverage. Don't use always pointing fingers at the rich people. No, I'm not pointing any fingers at the rich. It's not the rich. It's scammers. It's the scammers. Headband, I am not pointing fingers. No, I want. Trust me. If it, like people wanted me to point fingers at rich people all day. I was hanging out with the rich people and they were like, I can't believe you. How dare you? They were like, how are you even talking to those people? And I was like, they're being nice to me. What the hell? Crypto Hyro would tell you. I was hanging out with some of the biggest freaking crypto whales in the damn space. Da Vinci J15, Mr. Da Vinci. I mean, and honestly, he was like, but he's a busy dude. He started to crack, but I will say though, he's super nice to me and like did not have to like come to my little meetup that I had at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, and it was really cool. It was really cool. You know, sometimes those dudes, like they, you know, and especially when you get a lot of money, you end up kind of like, you know, they, you know, if you've ever met a really, really rich person, they just don't have patience for certain things anymore because they've eliminated like those things out of their life that they just didn't have to worry about anymore. The money literally just like put them in a different way of viewing and perceiving life. So when like normal things that you wouldn't like, you would just like try and do, like they don't think like that. It's just, that is just literally how it happens. So you have to like figure them out. And then once you figure them out, you realize that they're just a regular person. They just have a shit ton of money. And so it really kind of like, so just things are different now for them. They're still a regular person. They still eat. They still do all the same stuff. They're not a freaking unicorn, but they just have different needs now. And so what I'm learning is that instead of being like, oh, eat the rich, kill the rich, oh, they should pay more tax. No, you need to figure out what problems they have, because rich people have a lot of problems. More money, more problems. And so what you need to do, if you're thinking that you're going to be either losing your job, you're scared about AI, you want to figure this stuff out, you want to not work your job anymore, you want to not do that 9 to 5, well, guess what? There's rich people out there that need problems solved. They don't want to do it, and they'll pay you money to do it. What is it? That's your job to figure it out. So stop wasting time. I've successfully gotten a contract where I found where someone needed a problem solved, and now I'm solving more problems, and they're paying me money to do so. And I'm going to continue to do that. Because no one and no company or job or 9 to 5 or whatever it is going to freaking save you. You got to save yourself. And if you know that that is how you are going to be able to get money, then that is your secret weapon and your secret power that you can constantly work on and get better at. Advance said, my new business is catering to the rich. Catering what? Kebabs? Garlic mashed potatoes? What are you catering? What are you catering, sir? Dude, we're so smart. Like, honestly, we are smart. We are smart. We are all smart. Like, we are actually the smartest people in crypto. Everyone that watches this channel and is in this group, you guys are absolute geniuses. You are legends. You're on the spectrum. You're on the spectrum, baby. Yes, we can have a call today. Yes, Jordan, let's have a call. God, I'm so sorry. I've had just a lot of little things cooking, and so I just gotta like organize myself a little bit. I've tried to. I'll tell you guys, like one of my weaknesses is being organized. Okay, I that in my life I've just not been very organized, and it's shown, and I've acknowledged this as a weakness, and I'm trying to get better. And so like knowing this, I really have to like make sure that the things that are really important that I don't need to miss, I have to have the brain space for that. And then anything else that I was kind of like off the cuff said yes or whatever, that might have to die on the wayside. But what I have to realize is that I need to tell people honestly, yes, I want to talk to you. Yes, I want to make this meeting, but I have a lot of stuff happening right now. And so let's make sure we set an actual time to do it and put it in the book so then I don't forget. And so that's how I'll be able to really like schedule myself out better. So so Jordan, we're going to make it happen. Oh, okay, so all right, let's get back into some crypto. Did we even talk about crypto? No, but look at this scam. Look, okay, there's another. Sorry, I'm on my scamming rant, but look at this. BNB, they're like, yeah, buy BNB, bridge over to BNB. Drops down to $860. They're like, get a collateralized loan using BNB with all your crypto, so then we can scam you and take all your money. Freaking assholes. Put a trade in and live a little. You're like, put a trade in and live a little, sir. Well, no, I was trying to get a check in. I had a check that I wanted to put in the bank and it was not taking it. And then before I was trying to get to the bank to deposit it. And there was lines out the door. It's like, guys, the banks are toast, man. No one wants to do that crap anymore, and it's going to be so obsolete. These banks are going to go down because once everyone gets paid with their paycheck through the blockchain, and also and their taxes are getting taken out through there, and they can see where their tax money is going. Revolution. We're gonna be waiting in line for the bank. That's like old, like what we were waiting in line in the bank in the damn 20s. Are you kidding me? We have all these phones. We could scan everything, but we gotta wait at the bank. No, it's ridiculous. And look, all the tellers fired. They're all going to get fired, and they're all going to be replaced by AI agents that literally can mimic any type of personality. You're going to be able to walk up to the teller, and the teller is literally going to morph into what you like because of they've already scanned your eyes. They know you like white women with black hair. And so you walk up and it's gonna be a white woman with blonde hair, and then that's who's gonna check you out, and they're gonna talk exactly how you want them to talk, and they're gonna say, well, how would you like that deposit today? You think I'm being funny, but it is funny, but it's the truth. So get ready. Get ready, my friends. Just get ready. It's coming. I don't give a crap about what Powell's about to say. All I know is that Bitcoin and crypto and all this stuff is going to continue to go up. And gold and silver is probably going to continue to go up too. It's kind of crazy. Just buy assets. Shows by this chart that if you just bought Nvidia, they'll continue to blow out Nvidia as big as it can because it's all reliant on all these major companies. So it looks to me like if you just invest in the things that are holding up the entire crypto AI bubble energy thing, that might be the biggest trades that we can make in the next 5 to 10 years. And guess what? Like we said, crypto is the settlement layer for all of this and what is actually powering it. Well, Hyro, you probably had dry powder on the side to be able to, how much was your margin to get up on that trade, What margin did you use and what's your leverage? Don't you lie to me, sir. No, we did pretty good. We got up to 200, and then we should have taken 100, buy ticker Bitcoin, use the 100, go low leverage, go into something that looked like it was about to pop, and then just kind of rinse and repeat. But we did the. All right, Litecoin. You wanted me to look at Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin, I was telling you guys that it is the altcoin representative. Don't listen to Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen is going to make you think that you should just never look at Litecoin ever again, and also irresponsible. And he makes all these sweeping accusations that Litecoin's never going to recover on the BTC ratio. But it doesn't matter. All you got to do is just look at where every single altcoin cycle that we've had an altcoin super season or whatever, Litecoin's gotten up to these levels. We've literally only had 2 altcoin cycles because we've only had 4 cycles so far, 2 of them not having as many altcoins, and then now the last 2 of them having way more altcoins and way more, exposure into that market. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So look, market extended, super cycle, stablecoin super cycle, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. You look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, it shows that as well. Super cycle. This is extended out. We've had parabolic banana zone breakout tops going into the 4-year cycle section here. But now that we've completely obliterated that and that is no more, we are going to probably see more of the expansion into the altcoins going into 2026 of Q1 and Q2, while going off the coattails of where we're going to end this year with ETH and Bitcoin. So Litecoin right here, I think once we get into this range, I think other altcoins are going to look pretty good. That's just it's a great, it's just my guess. It's a dubious speculation, but this is where I want to be shaving off profits and DCAing out. Because right now, if we're still in this box, it shows to me that we're still, and look, I bet you on the daily and on the weekly, we're going to go to our altcoins and they're going to be back in that purple zone, which means that we are still in go time and we still have a chance. We don't have the box there, but we have one for SHIB and Pepe. Pepe went back into this support range. Litecoin back in that support range. I think Tron was a little different. Tron's interesting because Tron is kind of doing a nice, almost stock market steady climb because they are now very much invested in companies that are in the stock market and have merged. And so there's some things going on with this, and they're also heavily invested in World Liberty Financial and USD1. So I think Tron could be actually probably one of the safest altcoin bets. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to me. But yeah, Tron seems to have held up pretty nice. AVAX, that got right into its range again. Let's see. Sol definitely started to, like I said, I think Sol will break the sell wall once we get more tighter CME regulation and also ETFs flowing into Sol. That's going to be, I think, a potentially good trade on the level of regulated inflows and outflows for Solana. Aave is kind of looking a little but Aave, I saw this in a cup and handle on the weekly. We were thinking that once Ethereum breaks the all-time high, like true all-time high, then Aave and some legacy ETH protocol stuff like Compound, Aave, Lido DAO, anything that has that liquidity built in will go up steadily. So I think a range of going to the 1618 and also the second 618 would be a range. Arbitrum, it's like I like the volume on Arbitrum that's been coming in through the dexes and things like that. So if anything, the active addresses and the volumes and the stable coins that are being minted on Arbitrum could make it to where that's a good altcoin play as the native token, But it got rocked. I mean, it got completely destroyed. I mean, it just got so nuked. Like these things got so nuked. Any of these that were heavily influenced by Binance on this just got knocked. I mean, look at Floki. I mean, the Floki got hit so hard. It literally evaporated gains that were built up all the way from September 23rd. Look at this. This was literally from 2023. And they evaporated everything in one candle. And you want to and the people on the timeline want to continue to say, build, your funds are safe-fu. Well, you have a mental illness. Yeah, you could be right, Headband. It's definitely a gamble. So, but what I've seen is that when Ethereum was pumping, Aave and all those legacy stuff, like the ETH stuff, started coming out of the woodwork, and it was like, okay, that kind of helped me in my, I guess, like strengthen my bias that when ETH really does break all-time highs, like a real breakout, like a true, like we start seeing ETH like at 6K. I just think the ETH ecosystem is just going to explode. But I don't know. That's just kind of my bet. That's me being bullish ETH. And then I have the same thesis for Solana ecosystem stuff. Like when Solana, I think when it gets to $900, $1,000, when we start to get that institutional inflow and less of the wash trading from Binance, we're going to see coins like Radium, a Jupiter, Orca is like does the same stuff as Radium basically, but different type of pools and bot protection and stuff like that, snipers protection. So yeah, there's a lot I think to be excited about. And then also, there's this Zera. This is going into the privacy, narrative and privacy section of crypto. This is like super early stuff. The only reason I know about this is because of Headband, so I'm gonna give a shout out to Headband. But it did pique my interest. They did a successful migration, and there's been some evidence on chain that Wintermute themselves, the neutral arms dealer of crypto, was buying money before the migration. And so I found that pretty interesting. I was like, okay, that's actually worth, investigating into. Holders account has increased by 1,000. We had 2,100 holders, and now there's 3,100 holders. So seems to be picking up some traction. Most of the supply is locked up. 99% not burned, I believe it's locked. And then we got 0.01%, which is just like, you know, just a little supply probably allocated to, I don't know, one of these wallets here. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do. This is kind of like a very early play. We are under $30 million with this particular project. So, and like I said, I don't have a bunch of stake in this thing. I own like $80 of it. So I mean, like I and also it's not like this is for Headband, you know, this is for Headband. Headband definitely has way more stake in it than I do, but it definitely has, you know, incurred my interest. Specifically with this, with the privacy narrative. But the dev though, the dev is active, the dev is doxed. He's going to all these different companies. He's Texas native. So we'll see. We'll see what Mr. Dax can do. Apparently signed a bunch of NDAs. He's got a hardware wallet that is going to go into this whole thing of 0K knowledge proofs. ZK, zero knowledge proof of your assets being sent from peer to peer, but you still get to hold your assets. But so I don't know. We'll see. That might be the end game. Might be the end game rotation for all the millionaires that are going to be created in the next 6 to 9 months in crypto. What do you guys think? What do you think? I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore. I want you guys to talk. I've been running my mouth for too long now. Oh, let's just let Richard Hart talk. We got a couple clips. Actually, let's just run this. Let's run this because this is really important.
Today, I'd like to tell you why gambling sucks and poker sucks and video games suck. So, in this world, we have a ton of really complex problems. Problems so complicated that by the time you die, much of them will go unanswered. To take a world like that, where we have so many good competitions to be had with nature, and abstract and replace our natural competition against nature with a competition against other people, well, it's much less exciting. If you're able to compete against reality and solve a problem, discover something, invent something, that type of discovery lasts throughout the ages, a lasting testament to your existence in this world. Whereas the competitions that you have in silly made-up things versus other people are much less challenging target than this giant world of energy and mass that we live in. So let me give you an example. Margin. If you go on television,
only 144.
Or you watch,
Dang, dude, you did good.
Live streams on the internet, there's a lot of people, intelligent people, that are very, very good at playing poker. And poker is a game that has a limited number of players and a limited number of skills that you learn, which are exportable to other areas. You could say that you learn some game theory. You could say that you learn how to read other people and control communication, being able to tell bluff from real, reading intention, perhaps empathy, feeling into the types of responses and feelings other people would have when they get certain sets of hands. The problem is that if you were to isolate that behavior to just an island, right? If you were to say there's 7 people in the world and they all live on this island, and those 7 people are going to play a card game with each other, and all they're going to do is play that card game, well, nothing would get done. They would all starve to death because you need to eat, you need to take care of your family, you need to go to the bathroom, right? There's more to life than playing card games. And it's much worse than it sounds. You're not only getting very good at something which doesn't have a benefit outside of it, but even worse than that, you're harming all the people that you play with. It's not even a zero-sum game. It's a less than zero-sum game because the house takes its rake, takes its percentage, and you had the transition time to get there, the transition time to leave. You occupy your consciousness with reading books and watching other excellent people play and theorizing about new strategies. The game doesn't end when you leave the table. It doesn't start when you get to the table. And the costs and influence that it have on your life go far beyond the place in which you play, to the point where there's some people that play at home and they'll play 10 hands at once across 10 screens, or 10 windows in the same screen. And it just occupies more and more of their consciousness, to the point where they're really just bad computers, right? Or I'm going to stick with bad computers. I mean, you could say you could be a great computer if you're able to win money at poker, but if you're tactically right at strategically the wrong thing, it's worse, right? So a computer that would be very good at masturbating all day, it could be the world's best masturbating computer, but other than maybe the viewing rights that you could sell, it's not really useful to the rest of the world, right? So point one, fight the real world, discover real things, have real challenges in reality instead of fake abstracted challenges versus people. Because it's a less advertised path that less people take, there's much more profit in it. The more people that do a thing, the less money there is in that thing, and poker's one of those, right? It's not hard to play poker. There's guidebooks on it. How many real guidebooks are there on how to live real life? There's not that many, right? So, what guidebook do you know that tells you what kind of girl you should date, what job you should work, whether you should wear briefs or boxers, how to get better sleep? You kind of got to read 20 books to do that, right? So, one, do not spend your time competing with people. Spend your time competing against the reality of the world that we live in. Discover new things, right? Don't discover how to just take someone else's money. Two, it's not a zero-sum game. It's destructive. The money that you win came out of someone else's pocket, and that person's probably not very happy. You're, to some degree, harming that person. Third part, when you win at poker, you actually lose. Probably should have put that as part one. The person that loses at poker no longer has their life consumed by this stupid game and has the opportunity to go and interact with the real world and do things that are actually rare and actually valuable, that have lasting value. Whereas the person that wins at poker or wins at the stock market or wins at any other game versus other people, they have harmed someone on the other side, the loser. They have usually not invented something new, made lasting change in the world. I guess you could call it competition masturbation. Like, masturbating feels good, but it's not that productive, right? And winning games feels good, but it's not that productive. Yeah. It feels really good, by the way. Winning a fight, winning a game, winning any competition, at least to the masculine energy,
but it's short-lived.
Very, very, very consuming.
It's short-lived.
So don't compete versus other people. Compete versus the real world. You make a lot more money. Realize that whatever it is that you get good at is going to consume a lot of hours out of your life. And so you be very careful what you choose to get good at and what your hobbies are, because those hobbies are what you're likely to go into for a profession, or it'll influence the people that you...
100%. What have I done a lot with my hobbies? I played music. I played drums. I loved like the sound, and a very much sensory person. And what I do for money is I perform, I run sound, I help with events, I all kinds of tech stuff. I've always been into tech. I've always loved computers, and so naturally that's what I picked as a profession. Because I really did decide a while ago in my younger years that, like, if I was going to have to work and make money, I better just freaking pick something that I at least am going to love doing and enjoy doing. Because it would seem like a living hell if I had to do something that I didn't actually like or enjoy to do. And so what I've been trying to do, and sometimes at the sacrifice of things that I hope will get redeemed, is that, God willing, that doing this, I will be massively rewarded a lot more than just giving up and kind of just going into the 9-to-5, thing of like, oh, well, that's just what you have to do. Well, that's just what you. 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 Tell you what I have to freaking do.
It'll influence, who you have kids with, right? You're going to enjoy the things that you get good at. So feel free to choose something you don't like when you start, but is valuable and pays well, right? And then once you get good at it, now it's fun. May not have been fun when you started. I mean, how fun would learning the violin or, you know, learning to dance be when you suck at it? It's probably terrible. Or God forbid you learn to play the drums in a small house. Your family's probably really going to dislike you.
That was me.
Of trading, aren't you? You're very
You
much
lose all your money.
buy and.
You will lose all your money. Trading is death.
And why is that?
Well, it's a zero-sum game with a middleman. So this guy thinks the price is going to go up. This guy thinks the price is going to go down. Middle guy is like, haha, let me get these two idiots to try and take their money from each other. Oh, look, they're fighting each other. Look, they're betting against each other. And the middle guy is like, thank you, thank you. Bid-ask spread, thank you. Fees, thank you. Liquidations, yes, give me some more. Oh, you know what? How do I multiply the house advantage against you? I'll give you leverage. I'll let you trade more money than you have. Now I make money even faster. Now you're going to get wrecked even quicker. Oh, look. Oh, they're all dead. So huge website, eToro. Ads everywhere. Top of the website, 67% of people lose money with us.
Yeah.
People still do it. You're like, hey, guys, guess what? You sign up here. You're going to lose your money. Says it right there. Why are you doing it? Why you keep doing it? Oh, because you think the odds don't apply to you. You think you're better. Okay. They do apply to you. You're not better than anybody. So it's like the only people that get rich in crypto are founders and buy and holders.
Boom. That's facts. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to hear it because there's a giant industry built on you getting liquidated. No one wants to hear it. No one wants to listen because there's massive campaigns to continue to extract money from the users that show up here every day and promote these products, hoping that they'll get an airdrop, but really they're getting an anvil dropped on their freaking head. Oh man, this live stream's got so many good clips. Clip the crap out of this damn. Give me a clipboard. Because there's clips for days in this live stream. Some clips for days in this live stream, my friends. You can clip your you can get some clippage out of here. All right. All right, we're having too much fun now. All right. Guys, go to danocrypto.com. You want to see what's going on in the dojo crew and the space. You can check that out. You can see the crypto bubbles. Oh man, you want to see a really scammy chart? Look at the chain opera chart. That one's like just Lord. Now what the heck happened? That's not even the right discrepancy here. No, where was the chart? Yeah, there was a chart that looked insane. They had this thing, they pumped it from God, what was it? It was like $3 all the way to $30. It went to $30. And I don't know, they eliminated it, I guess. They erased it somehow. Oh no, this is the perps contract. Where's the spot? Oh, is it spot? Oh yeah. That was the spot. Where's the spot? It was the spot that did it. Yeah, thank you. Was it spot? I saw it on, where the heck was it? Was it spot Binance? No, the spot. Yeah, the spot. It was like 12. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, 12 cents to $40 or something. Yeah, I thought it stopped at 30. But then it went, and then it wicked all the way from 40, went all the way back down to I don't know. I guess, was it under 7? I don't know. It was just crazy. I was like, they are just swinging this freaking thing all around. And what's funny is that it happened all during the crash. It's almost like they used Chain AI or Chain Opera as the slush as the slush pump token during this crash. Because if you remember, I looked at the crash, and then I looked at Chain Opera, and I was like, why is this thing up 35% on the biggest like liquidation event in history? Really crazy. Did they just straight take it off of spot? It's almost like they took it off of spot. I can't even find it. Premium index? Like what the hell is this? What the heck? Did I just have it? I didn't see it. I don't know what the hell's going on with my freaking trading view. No. What the hell? What just happened? Oh, trading view. There we go. No, that's still not right. Oh, here it is. That's where I saw it. Here it is. It was actually on OURBIT. That's where I saw the true nature of what actually happened, because it wasn't showing this on other spots. Look at that. Look at those two. Look at those. Look at that. Four wicks where it was just like, oh, I'm not trading anything on BNB. I'm boycotting it. I don't care how much money or what projects are over there. I don't care. I'm not trading any BNB stuff. I do not care about BNB. I'd much rather have my money on Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Polygon. You know, I'd much rather have my money there. I am not putting my money on BNB. I'm not trading any of the memes. I am not taking part of this like obvious like shill of with these big accounts like Thread Guy, Jake, Europop, with all the CZ like you know gobbling, CZ gobbling, and BNB like crap. Like I am not partaking. No. And also, I think Thread Guy is a plant from the Fed. Prove me wrong, Thread Guy. Thread Guy, come on my live stream, and I will recant my call of calling you a Fed. Come on my live stream. Let's have a nice little chat, and I won't have the theory that you have been planted by the Fed CIA to spy on crypto. All right, guys. I'll see you later. We had fun today. Thanks for tuning in. If you want the next 100x, you can go to another live stream or go to another channel. If you want real representation of what's happening on the market with no lies, no trying to sell you some bull crap, you can come here. And I really mean that. I'm not tooting my own freaking horn. While there's all these accounts that are just going to feed you some crap, us and the dojo crew, we're going to tell you when we lost. We're going to tell you when we win. We're going to show you where we feel like we're being duped and scammed and bamboozled. And we're going to help, and we're going to all get through this together. I'm not a genius. We're not geniuses, but I think we've been battle tested enough to have good instincts, intuition, and I think this will help us in the long run to not get shaken out of crypto and to continue to almost be delusional about the space. But have a great day, my friends. May God bless you. May the light of the Lord Jesus Christ shine on you and your families, and have a good rest of the day. I will be back live streaming at 9 o'clock. I think I'll be, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I think, because I'm playing a little gig. It's not a long gig, it's an hour long. So I think I might be able to get back in enough time to start the live stream at 9 o'clock. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back and we will get into a little bit more about the AI bubble and how it's so connected with crypto and why I think it's going to continue to expand. And hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Peace out.